Welcome to the History AI podcast, where the past comes alive with facts, anecdotes, and a dash of humor. Here are your hosts, Chuck and Marco.
Hello and welcome back to the History AI podcast. I'm your host, Chuck.
And I'm Marco. Today, we're diving into the incredible life of William Carney, a man whose courage and determination changed the course of American history.
That's right, Marco. Carney was not just a soldier, he was a trailblazer, a hero, and a symbol of bravery.
So, grab your history hats, folks. We're going back to the 19th century.
Today's journey takes us to the early life of William Carney, a remarkable figure born into an America that was vastly different from today. Born in 1840, Carney's story begins in Norfolk, Virginia.
That's right, Chuck. Norfolk, a place steeped in the complexities of the pre-Civil War South. Here, Carney was born into slavery, a harsh reality that shaped the early years of many African Americans at the time.
But William's father, inspired by a profound desire for freedom, didn't accept this fate. He managed to escape from slavery, and through perseverance and immense hard work, he eventually bought the freedom of his entire family. A true hero in his own right.
A hero indeed, Chuck. And it was in New Bedford, Massachusetts, where the family found a new home and a beacon of hope. This city, known for its vibrant abolitionist movement, offered a stark contrast to the oppressive environment of Virginia.
In New Bedford, young William attended school, a privilege that was denied to many African American children at the time. Here, he discovered his talents and passions.
And let's talk about those talents. Carney wasn't just any kid, he had a flair for singing and an impressive knack for public speaking. Imagine the voice of an angel combined with the persuasion of a seasoned orator.
Absolutely, Marco. His time in New Bedford was formative. The community here, with its strong abolitionist stance, also played a crucial role in shaping his views on equality and freedom.
It's fascinating to think about the influences around him during those years. He was growing up in a hotbed of intellectual and political activism. Names like Frederick Douglass were part of the local discourse. Imagine that.
Indeed, Marco. And amidst this backdrop of change and activism, William Carney was carving his own path, a path that would soon lead him to make history in ways he could never have imagined.
From the constraints of slavery in Virginia to the liberating streets of New Bedford, Carney's early life set the stage for his extraordinary journey. A journey that speaks volumes about resilience, hope, and the relentless pursuit of freedom.
As we venture further into William Carney's life, we arrive at a pivotal moment, his decision to join the Union Army during the Civil War. This wasn't a decision made lightly, Marco.
Absolutely, Chuck. The Civil War, a tumultuous and defining period in American history, was not just a battle over territories, but a profound struggle over the ideals of freedom and human dignity.
And let's set the scene a bit. It's the early 1860s. The United States is fractured, brother against brother, North against South. In the midst of this national turmoil, African Americans faced their own intense battle for rights and recognition.
That's where the 54th Massachusetts Volunteer Infantry comes into play. It was one of the first African American units in the U.S. Army, established in 1863. This unit wasn't just a military formation, it was a symbol of hope and a challenge to the deeply entrenched racism of the time.
And William Carney, then just in his early 20s, was compelled to be part of this monumental shift. Inspired by the cause and the opportunity to fight for the freedom of his people, Carney enlisted in the 54th Massachusetts.
His decision speaks volumes about his character. Here was a young man who had faced the bitterness of slavery, tasted the sweetness of freedom, and now was ready to lay down his life for the liberty of others.
It's interesting to note, Marco, that Carney's enlistment wasn't just about fighting for the Union. It was deeply personal. He was fighting for his own rights, for his family's rights, and for the future of all African Americans.
And let's not forget the social context here. African American soldiers faced discrimination within the Army. They were often given the worst equipment and the most dangerous assignments, not to mention lower pay than their white counterparts.
Yet, Carney and his fellow soldiers in the 54th Massachusetts didn't waver. They saw their service as a testament to their courage, a way to prove their worth as citizens and soldiers.
That's the kind of bravery that changes the course of history, Chuck. Carney's decision to fight was a beacon of courage, lighting the way for future generations to follow.
Indeed, Marco. His choice to take up arms in a divided nation was a powerful statement, a declaration that freedom and equality were worth fighting for, no matter the cost. As we delve into William Carney's military service, we find ourselves in the midst of one of the Civil War's most significant chapters. The year is 1863, and Carney is now a sergeant with the 54th Massachusetts Volunteer Infantry.
That's right, Chuck. And it's crucial to understand the gravity of this moment. The 54th Massachusetts wasn't just any regiment. It was a unit that would come to symbolize the bravery and capability of African American soldiers.
Their most famous engagement, and where Carney's heroism shone brightest, was the assault on Fort Wagner in South Carolina.
The assault on Fort Wagner was brutal. The fort was heavily fortified, and the Union soldiers, including the 54th, faced fierce resistance from the Confederate forces.
Amidst the chaos of battle, when the flag-bearer was fatally wounded, Carney saw the American flag falling to the ground. Without a moment's hesitation, he seized the flag, sustaining multiple gunshot wounds but pressing forward.
This act was more than just battlefield bravery. That flag represented a nation divided, yet striving for unity. Carney, wounded and bleeding, kept the flag aloft, rallying his fellow soldiers.
And let's paint this picture: bullets whizzing, cannons roaring, and there's Carney, climbing the parapet, the flag in his grasp. He's a beacon of hope in a scene of despair.
Despite his severe wounds, he didn't falter until he had safely returned the flag to Union lines. His actions that day were a profound demonstration of courage and dedication to the cause.
And for his extraordinary bravery, Carney was later awarded the Medal of Honor. He was the first African American to receive this highest military honor, setting a precedent for many who would follow.
It's staggering, Chuck. Carney's heroism at Fort Wagner became a symbol of African American contributions to the Union cause, a narrative that challenged the prevailing prejudices of the time.
His valor was not just about that single moment but about what it represented: the fight for equality, the assertion of dignity, and the relentless pursuit of a nation's ideals, even in the face of overwhelming odds.
William Carney's story at Fort Wagner is a testament to the human spirit's resilience. A story that resonates through history, reminding us of the sacrifices that are made during war.
A true hero in every sense of the word. His legacy is not just about the medals and accolades, but about the path he paved for future generations.
After the war, Carney didn't just rest on his laurels. He returned to Massachusetts, worked as a postal clerk, and remained active in his community.
He married Susanna Williams and lived a life marked by quiet dignity until his death in 1908. A true hero, not just in battle, but in life.
Carney's legacy is one of courage and perseverance. He showed what it means to fight for what's right, even in the face of overwhelming odds.
His story is a reminder that heroes come in all forms, and sometimes, they're holding a flag instead of a sword.
Or in Chuck's case, a microphone instead of a choir book.
You got me there, Marco. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and share the History AI podcast. Your support keeps history alive.
And keep an eye out for our next episode. We promise more incredible stories, and maybe, just maybe, Chuck will sing for us.
Let's not get their hopes up, Marco. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. From the mind behind the History AI podcast comes an electrifying journey into the past. A ripple through time, Franklin's Folly. Dive into a tale where Benjamin Franklin, America's beloved inventor, takes an unexpected journey through time. But with his leap, he unleashes a powerful ripple. Now, with dark forces lurking in the shadows, harnessing this energy to shatter and enslave the world, it's a race against time. Will Franklin fix the future? Or will history rewrite itself? Uncover the secrets. A ripple through time, Franklin's Folly. Time has never been more fragile. On Amazon now.